the album, A Grand Don't Come For Free, by The Streets. The last song, Empty Cans. The lyrics, it's the end of something I did not want to end. Beginning of hard times to come. But some things that was not meant to be is done. And this is the start of what was. I used to think for a long time about that album, about the story, about that he got a lucky break, getting that £1,000. Then he found a girlfriend, and then it all started going south. He lost the money. His girlfriend cheated. They had an argument. He's a bit complacent and doesn't really understand that his girlfriend wants a bit more out of her partner, and he's more bothered about drugs and booze and petty arguments and, you know, betting and what have you. And then truth comes out about his girlfriend, or at least she leaves, and he's gutted. And then he believes that he's found out who's nicked the money. And then he gets his TV fixed, and then lo and behold, the money's down by there, behind the TV. He doesn't have a girlfriend anymore, but he started talking to a new person. And it's still going to be difficult because he's grieving that old relationship with someone who he thought he liked. But he's moving forward. He's got his money. He's got his brand new start. He's got his rewind. A grand don't come for free. That grand came with lots of experiences and life lessons that he didn't think he was going to have. Every big break comes with baggage or conditions, and that's how it is in life. Nothing is 100% rosy. You know, there is no clean wins in life ever. You know, it feels like it when you first get it, but it's not. There's always something. It comes with a boatload of new problems, you know. And then he loses everything. And then all of a sudden it's back to the beginning again. And he's got this big win, he's got the money again, and he's got a brand new boat of problems all over again. Different set of problems. You know. And then I sat and thought about those lyrics at the very end, on that very end song. It's the end of something I did not want to end, beginning of hard times to come. But something that was not meant to be is done, and this is the start of what was. If I remember rightly, when I was in my youth, I remember hearing that he'd actually made this whole album with his mates in his house, which means it didn't cost a lot of money, probably £1,000. And he knew full well that this second album that he was making was going to skyrocket him into fame. He knew it. He knew it was a sealed deal. He knew it. But he also knew that that would be the end of his life pre-fame, where he could do what he wanted and go wherever he wanted, and he was carefree, and he didn't have to think, and he could joke and laugh and fuck about, and, you know, it wasn't work, you know. Yes, he got fame out of that album. That's the whole point of him making music, so that people can listen to it. But inevitably, fame comes with that, and some people look at that and think, wow, that's fucking fantastic, you know. But it's not. Your whole life changes, you know. Your whole life, you mourn the loss of that old life, which parallels his old life with his old girlfriend in the story. You lose that, and you go on to a new one, and you're scared about the new one because it's going to be vastly different, and there's things that you're going to lose out on. You know, your freedom to just go out and get pissed with your mates, you know, and go unnoticed. But what he doesn't realise is that old life, yeah, it had some good little bits about it, but this new one's going to be even better. And I do believe that whole album is based on the fact that he knew he had written an absolute banging album that was going to skyrocket him. That grand that he paid for all his music gear for him and his mates in his house while he made it. He had to work for that grand to pay for all that stuff, and then he had to put work into his music. And then when he started getting paid for his music, it didn't come for free. He worked really hard for it. He made one of the bestest albums known to man, and he knows it. And that last line just highlights that he knew he had made one of the bestest albums in the world. He knew it when he was writing it. He knew he had. And that the change was going to be difficult now that it was going to skyrocket. But it didn't just come free to him. The win didn't come for free. He had to work really hard for it, and he did. You could tell with that album he did. I could sit and talk about that album for hours. I love that album. I love that album. It's got some really, really good metaphors for life and life lessons, and you learn these things through his story of the character Mike and Simone and Dan, and you learn life lessons through them. You don't have to go through them, you learn it. You don't have to go through them yourself, you go through it just listening to them and thinking about it. He knew full well when he made his first album, Pirate Material, that he was on to a winner. He knew he was good. That was his inkling. His first album was his first inkling that he was fucking good, and that he got that acknowledgement, and then he was going to go all out on this second album, and he fucking did, and he knew it, and that's why he wrote those lines. He didn't want the hard work to come, the making of that album to come to an end. And he knew the next bit was going to be really hard, because then he's going to have to dig deep and find something else to work on, But an album has to get finished and put out to the world, doesn't it? And then people listen to it, and that is the story of what was. He knew what he was writing. He is one of the most cleverest people I've ever listened to when it comes to words, use of words. I'm autistic. I'm no good with words. Words aren't my... I can't speak. I'm not very good at words like that, and I've got a massive appreciation for how people use words, and every time I listen to his stuff, I'm just in awe. So many layers to it. Just a little mindless thought from me on a day where I'm too hot and I'm in pain and I'm stuck with music and thoughts, just sharing a bit of appreciation for a very, very good artist, poet, album. An appreciation for the fucking layers, bro. The fucking layers in what he writes. It's shit hot.